All right, I'm going to confirm that we do have a quorum today, and I'd like a motion to open the meeting.
On.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We are recording, okay. We'll do a roll call, starting with Chris, please.
Chris Howe here. Susan Miller.
Chuck Baird.
Damon Jesperson.
John Farrar.
Jean Cunningham.
And we have
Kathy Zerman.
Kathy today, because Cindy's away.
Yes.
Good for her.
So I'd entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes from 11/18/2024.
Motion to.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. I don't have a ton to report today. There have been a few more meetings about the building sites and things like that, but it has been, the holidays have been a slow time for my Council on Aging work, but the rest of the Council on Aging has been very busy. Every time I've stopped by, there's been stuff going on, so I will turn it over to Kathy for the director.
Okay. So, yes, we have been very, very busy. And we're trying a couple of new things for the rest of this month. We're trying a hearing clinic. We started a foot clinic a couple months ago, that's about a year ago, and that's like really positive and always full. So now we're trying a hearing clinic, which would equal, he's an audiologist will come in, he will give people hearing tests, he will also check their hearing aids if they have them for other people and clean them for free.
Well,
Okay, and if they do need a hearing aid, he will help them with that. So that's just starting this month. So my schedule's already like booked. I think I have one opening left for that. So we'll try that.
People are calling in to register.
Right, and then how it will work is some COAs do it like, quarterly, some do it every other month. So for us, we'll just wait and see, and the people's needs will gauge what we do. Just like the foot
Yep.
clinic. So if we can fill it up and we can do it monthly, great. If we can't, we do it every other month, and that's great too. Whatever they need is how we'll gauge the appointments. So that's something that we're doing. We're gonna have coffee with the cop on Wednesday, and that's gonna be here. And what that'll be is usually when we have coffee with the cop, the town people enjoy that, and it also too, it's a twofold because it helps them to meet the police officers and be comfortable with them. That's the whole idea of it, so that if they have to call, they are not reluctant to call. And when they show up, those are people that they know. So that's why we try to get them to come to the activities and bigger functions so that the people will have like a relationship with them. And they want that too. The police want that too. So that they're not afraid to call when needed.
good idea.
Yeah. We're having a traveling chef on Wednesday the 22nd, which means the meals will be brought in, and the traveling chefs are always full. So usually have at least 45, 50 people that come to eat. And some of them take them to go. If they're like, we have some people that have partners that are housebound or something, they'll call us ahead of time, and we'll pack the 2 meals up for them to go. So that's always,
And that's here.
that's here. Always very, very popular. We have our Medi Pedi, which is our foot clinic, which is very, very popular. And all of our usuals. We're having our February, March newsletter going out. It's going to the printer this week. So right now what we're doing is we're firming up February and March. Okay? And so that will go out by the end of the week, because we have to give them a week, and then we have to get it out before the first of the month. So we have that going on, and we have a couple of different things going on. We're having a pasta making class with Bill. Bill DeMeo is going to do a pasta making class for us, and we're going to make the pasta, and then we're going to have lunch together. Whoever signs up, that's going to be here. When is that? Hold on. It's on the 27th of February at 10. So we're going to make the pasta, then we're going to cook the pasta, and then have it for lunch. But in February, There's something coming up that I haven't tried before, and it's the first time I'm trying this man. His name is Christopher Daly, and he is a presenter. And after the Traveling Chef in February, we are gonna have a Lincoln assassination program. So sometimes when I try new things, I like to piggyback them onto something that's very popular. Traveling Chef is a very popular activity for us. So if I have something that I want to try new, I'll try to piggyback it on. So like there'll be, 45 people are going to come for lunch. Then I'm going to say, hey, hello, if you stay a little bit longer, we're going to have a Lincoln assassination program. And so it gives me better tenants when I do it. So we're trying that in February, so it should be very interesting.
And this program is where you learn how to assassinate the president?
No.
Or
He's going to talk about the Lincoln assassination for President's Day. And it should be, I went online, like he has a lot of different, he goes to a lot of COAs, he goes to a lot of different places and has presentations, and so it looks pretty good. So we're going to try it. So that will be the first time. But anyways, so we have a lot of new things coming up in February and March, and so, we're just trying to get our calendar out this week. That's what, we gotta get to the printer. It's time.
You open to a question?
Yeah.
This lecture coming in post Traveling Chef, because we've already got the audience in the building.
Yeah.
I had a dinner engagement with somebody who's active on the Historic Town District, Robert Etheridge, and he asked me point blank, do you think I could come in and speak after one of your events where there's a collection of good listeners?
This is a good thing.
Yeah.
Traveling Chef is a good thing.
Well, I mean, that is in any other element, and I said you need to get together with Kathy and say,
Yeah,
get
I'm on it.
permission. Yeah. So I'm going to
Right.
recommend that he give you a direct call and
Yeah,
try and schedule it.
absolutely. Yeah.
It's a warm subject,
Yeah.
already at the select board level, and the only selectman I've discussed it with is Billy. And that's it.
Just have them call us.
Okay.
We're always willing to try new things one time, and if we're trying something new, piggybacking it with something that's very popular is a good way to do it.
It is a great way, and you might have some people who want some.
Yeah, and the element is that they're up against the same hurdle we've seen at Morgan Avenue time and time again, 2/3 vote,
Yeah.
town hall, and town hall meeting. And so the long and the short of it is he needs to get not only the people in the historic district that it will impact, but the good souls of Newbury, all three regions, all three of the triad that will see the value in creating a quality district.
Yeah. You tell them to give us a call.
Okay, will do.
Yeah. Right. That's it.
Funny, we need to bring a bridge over here to salvage our historic district. I mean,
But there
literally.
must be some historical homes in
Oh, I live in.
Plum Island too.
Yeah, and think at Forest Street. General Washington's bodyguard lives on Forest Street. And,
Well, speaking of that, is there anything that is going to be planned for the 250th anniversary of,
This country?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know a lot of like the National Archives were
Wait a
on,
minute,
and
I
there's
remember
other things, I was just wondering if there's any
75th.
local municipalities were
The
doing
report's
anything.
on a ton of stuff. Oh, they are?
Well, we
Yes.
did a 350th on the Lower Green. At that time,
I remember that.
yeah, and I brought that up to Robin, and I had a lot of photographs because we moved into the Plummer House in February of 1974. So Patty and I were, and Dick Joy was our, not a next door neighbor, but a close neighbor, and he was the prime mover of setting that 350th up, and we had Mayor Curry from Newbury, England, in attendance. She flew over, and it was a spectacular, and I displayed the pictures the other night at the gathering. The long and the short of it is that the Lower Green is still under the risk of being turned over to a contractor, and you get another cottage road right on the Lower Green. You think about that. You could build 6 houses on that plot, 2 houses, 3 houses, and what we've done is, I say that loosely, what Robin and his effort have created is a marvelous colored map of all of the properties in Old Town that are historic in nature and need to be preserved. And there's a bunch of them, and like Jerry said, there's a bunch of them in Byfield and Plum Island.
Yes. To expound on the meet and greet with the fire and police,
Yes.
very good deal. I used to put full-dressed firefighters in the classrooms so kids can see what a firefighter looks like in a Scott pack, in a
Yeah.
vest.
That's good.
Because to a young kid, that looks like a
Scary.
monster.
It's very scary.
If they know what it's like, how it's sick. So I agree with that.
Right, I think that if they get to know the people of the town,
Yeah.
you know, then if they have a question like, you know, am I having a heart attack, am I not having a heart
Yeah.
attack? They'll be more apt to call and question it and reach for help if they feel comfortable.
So it's a good idea.
And that's excellent with the schools, because I know my uncle was, Bill's uncle was captain of the Boston Police Department, and he said typically children go in closets, under beds and hide.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
So that's.
Found a couple myself that way.
That's scary.
Yeah, but he said it's a natural thing, but.
The fire department does that during the day of a temperature truck in the spring.
Yeah.
And they actually.
That's nice.
Yeah.
All right.
They
That's
put on
good.
a whole guard and the kids get to.
It's a good timely thing right now, given the California wildfires and
Oh,
everything that's going
gosh.
on there, because the kids are subjected to news, whether we know or not. But, you know, it's like, here you go, here's what you should do if,
Yeah.
God forbid, that kind of thing happened.
Yep.
I mean, look at the fires that happened, you know, a few months ago,
Mhm.
down the road, just because it's so dry here.
Had a lot of things. I was teaching in Ipswich, where everything was one side of the town, and the mother and a 4-year-old child died. The other side of the town. You know, resources.
But back to your comment about the heart attack, I saw something on Instagram, there's this cardiologist that I follow, and he actually did a little thing about like, if you think you're having a heart attack, these are the things that you should do. And one of them is unlock your door, so that if you are incapacitated, somebody can get in.
And sit upright in a chair. I've seen that. The idea is, when you call 911, be seated in a
Yeah.
chair, and like you said, unlock the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Also-
sometimes
Yeah.
have, fire departments came a couple times and did some, we didn't offer a CPS certification. What we had was, we called it like a first aid. We were getting them, we just wanted to get them to be able to see the AED, see how to use it, and also do some easy first aid things that you could do in your home when you're by yourself. So, you know, we didn't say unlock the door, but we could tell them that. But, you know, just some simple first aid kind of things that you would do at home by yourself if you were alone and something happened. And then call 911.
And usually what they do, unfortunately, is have, instead of an ambulance, have this house spouse or partner drive them, which is, or call the doctor's office.
Yeah. So, I mean, they'll send over like an EMT or a fireman and just tell them certain things like that. You know, what to do, because a lot of them do live alone. And that's a huge problem. And if something happens, even if you have like a nosebleed or you cut yourself or just little things, you know, that we don't know, if we get nervous, how long should I let this go for, you know?
Yeah.
And he kind of gives them some helpful hints on those kinds of things.
Years ago, we had Triad,
Yeah.
that was the Council on Aging, Fire Department, Police Department, Sheriff's Department. They all came in, and we all came up with different ideas. A lot of them were first aid, where to put your medical charts.
Yeah, we do all, yeah. We
Not
just,
only in the house, in the car.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's very important.
You're right, I didn't think of the car, because I do.
Should you have an accident?
exactly right.
Should you have a heart attack in
Yeah.
the car? I know somebody does. and he doesn't
So,
have-
anyways,
We pushed at one point we had keys for people who lived alone, out, you know.
We
to
do
put in-
have the lock boxes.
Yes.
We do have lock boxes. Actually, one of the people in our town donated like 10 of them. He bought 10 and donated them. And yes, we reach out,
Yeah.
especially people that we feel like are in need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to that drill with John Lucy. My wife was very sick for a number of years, and we'd have help at home. But at the same token, the lockbox, I put it in the shed on the west wall and made sure that you know, the duty officers always knew where it was, and
Yeah,
the fire department knew where it was, and twice they had to come when I was away from the area. And they just go to the shed and unlock the door.
yes, yeah, it's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we do have those.
All right.
Very good. Just thinking some people in Byford just don't lock their doors, so.
I was there.
That was me until I got broken into.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then
Never know, a cop
I lock
probably.
it was locked anyway, but still.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah,
hard.
I'm gonna say people do unlock them, they won't break anything on the way in. That I have to fix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of safety things.
So that's everything for the director's report. Is there any new business that anyone would like to discuss or anything they'd like on the agenda for next time?
I would love one, go ahead, ladies first.
Oh, I got an email, I don't know if everybody else did, directly from the Massachusetts Conflict of Interest Training Department, whatever department it is, I'm not sure. So that's, anybody who needs to do the training, there's a
Yeah.
deadline of
Is that annual?
7 coming up.
Usually it's
No,
on
it's
that.
training, every year you have to fill out
Yeah.
the form that says you've gotten a notice about it, and that you are up to date
Yeah.
on your conflict of interest.
Right.
I had to do the training this year, so.
I've had no such notice. So
Yeah,
you-
neither have I.
Yeah, but Cindy's really up on that usually.
It didn't come from Cindy, it came to me directly, usually it
Directly
comes
from the
from
state.
Cindy.
Yeah.
or
Yes,
from-
yeah.
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 from-
Yeah.
Yeah, when we were sitting in the seat, we got them every year.
Yes.
But, not this particular one.
Yeah, Gretchen may also reach out if people have not
Yeah.
submitted it. So
Okay.
we do have to do our conflict of interest, our open meeting law. I forget the schedule for all of those, but
Yep.
we need to be up to date on our ethics.
Oh, we definitely do.
So thank you for the reminder, and I will talk to and to bring something down to town hall, but I won't today.
It's
But I'll
only
talk
got a
to.
deadline of February 7, which I don't think is a real hard deadline, so
I think
But that's
that
reasonable, you
yeah,
know, too.
we should be able. Everyone should be able to do it. I'll check and make sure that we get all of our stuff submitted to you guys so that you can get it back to the town, so it can go back to the state. So. Thank you,
Yeah,
John.
would this be for every single, I mean, even HR, other boards would have to do this as well?
All public boards usually have to do all of the things. You don't have to repeat, so if you're on
Yeah.
one board, you don't have to repeat the Essex training for a second board.
That
Once is
explains
enough.
why I didn't get the message, because we did it.
And then there's choices as far as what board you're on. They didn't have a board specifically for council on aging. They didn't have a line item for council on aging, but it said if you were a member of a board or committee.
Yeah.
So that's,
One of those
Click on that
all
one.
inclusive.
yeah, I think there must be different levels
Image.
of trainings
Yep.
that you have to go through. So if you click on that one, I think it's the shortest and easiest one to do. So.
Yes, it's gotten easier.
So the idea is
Use,
the obvious ethics aspect of no, no benefits through town association
Right.
in your,
Even if you're unpaid.
even if you're unpaid.
Yeah.
One humorous anecdote, when I closed my office, there were, a level of furniture was unbelievable, and I just, charitable moment, gave the desks away to an institution that I leave unmentioned here, but there were 5 file cabinets, pretty new, and I was sitting with Chief Fisher one day, and I said, if you have any use on Morgan Avenue, they're yours. So I put them out on the porch, and one of the officers, probably one of the town, the town maintenance folks, came down with a truck, and the 5 were gone the next morning, and the long and the short of it was 2 days later, the letter came out, which was very, very specific in its detail about there was no quid pro quo here whatsoever. This was pure ultimate charity. And I said, you mean I don't have a get out of jail card? It was inappropriate ethics behavior and right up, and it was humorous as Dickens. It was a lot of fun. I do have a question for you, is the list. Who gets that list? And I have one specific element, is twice now I've come up to visit with our VA not a VA, a VSO. And I go upstairs, I go through the door to say hello to the mayor of the town. And I go by her door, open it up, and he's alone. And I sat there for an hour, twice now, and his comment to me was, thank you for your companionship and good conversation for an hour. And there's got to be a whole lot of veterans who are not 65 years of old in this village. And we ought to be figuring out how to mail your wonderful material to every single address in all 3 boroughs.
I think that Steve, that's Steve Bond,
Yes.
I think that they publish where they're going to be, okay? And we have, we do send out our newsletter, like you said. It's also online. And I will tell you, so, say as long as we've been here for 2 years, let's just say that. We've tried different things. We also tried coffee hours. So what I was doing the past couple of months was I was doing a coffee half hour from 11 to 11:30, coffee and donuts, and then at 11:30 we did the coffee and donuts out there, and then he would come in here. People wanted to talk personal business, right? He'd come in here. I will tell you, I've never once had more than 3 people. So then he decided to stop, he said stop doing that, so he's just going to continue to do his hour upstairs. Don't bother with the coffee and donuts because nobody's showing up. And most days, he is up there by himself. Once in a while, we'll have someone call and say, hey, when's the veteran service officer coming? And we'll tell them. But that's what we have for him. I mean, I don't know if maybe he conducts business. I know he goes to people's homes. I know that they can go to his office. But as far as the people of this town, you figure we send our newsletter out to about 1,600 people, okay? We put it online, right? And we maybe get 2 or 3 a month.
And that's historical. I mean, going back 10 years, it would be Bill and
And the other thing is that the VOS, or the Veterans Officer, has the list and
He does.
emails and reaches out directly to all the veterans. It's not
Right.
on the
Yeah.
town to do that for him. He has the information and he has the lists,
Yeah.
and they post it on their site and they do the reach out as well. So it's not on the Council of Aging to reach out.
Yeah, I agree. It just as a general course, it offers the opportunity to expose to the Council on Aging an emerging generation in the 40s and 30s and 50s.
Right, and I think that a lot of the vets in our town reach out, like if they have specific problems. He makes himself readily available at all times. I think that they feel very comfortable reaching out to him at any time, not just this hour once a month here.
Yeah.
So I feel like the people that are coming in here want to meet him. For instance, I had a couple, an older gentleman and his wife. That gentleman wanted his wife to meet Steve Bond. So when something happened to him, she knew exactly where she was going to, and she would have met him. And then he would help her with everything that she needed as far as his benefits and such go. Certain things, people will make a call and say, hey, when's he coming? But I feel like a lot of his other business is conducted out of here.
In Ipswich. I mean, it's a private arena, and
Yeah.
the upstairs conference room doesn't permit that. Even down here doesn't. I came to 2 of the coffee hours here.
Right, they're out there.
You could hear every single word in that room.
And the other thing, the emerging veterans that are coming up are working,
Yeah.
you know? So, yeah.
They'll call and go to Ipswich for
Right.
privacy.
And he seems like he's always so readily available to help whoever.
He is-
He's always been
he's
so good with
remarkable.
us. You know,
Excuse me, I gotta get going, I have a previous engagement.
Not at all. Thank you for being here, Chuck.
nice to
Thank
see
you
you,
all.
Chuck.
Happy
Yeah.
holidays. Good to see you.
Happy New Year.
Take care.
So piggybacking a little bit off of that, not necessarily just communicating, I would still advocate that we, or the COA basically expands their communication to email. The newsletter is great, but it's hard copy. It is a 60-day one. I'll read it and put it aside and forget about it. nobody has that for reference. The last thing pecking around the town of Newbury website is difficult to get to our info, never mind call. They still call and they have to go through like the,
Yeah.
you know.
Yep.
So I know a lot of people, we've been collecting emails from the course registrations, at least for the classes. We've got a good database. What is preventing us from creating electronic communication?
For that
We
generation.
do get it by email.
Well, particularly for the newsletter?
Yeah, I always get it by email.
You get a COA newsletter?
And, yeah, a newsletter and a calendar by email and
Oh.
in the mail. I get it both ways.
I do not.
I do not.
I get it
You must
only
be the only
paper,
person
that's-
who
I
does
don't
You
that.
know.
can request it.
Oh, you have to request it.
No, I think that we have to, we have your emails and stuff, I'll ask Cindy about it.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
I
you
don't,
have
I don't get it
request
either.
it.
No, I mean, obviously Cindy has our email, but she
Yeah.
communicates with us regularly, but why we're not on, everyone's not on that list.
Uh,
Well, I'm not talking about the COA, I'm talking about anybody in the community getting,
That's a lot of work and I don't know how much money we have to know.
To send an email?
to send an email?
No, you
No,
can,
but
you can
it's-
set it up to go on when you're not
Correct.
even here.
Correct.
Yes,
Yeah.
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 I don't know.
I just think that people aren't aware. I know that I've had new people show up to some of my classes who are like, I had no idea that this was going on until somebody, like my next door neighbor said something. So either, again, like if you look at Newburyport COA, there's regular communications, there's reminders of like classes. I think we've got a lot more attendance and the hard copies need to be augmented in some other form. And every 60 days is not enough to get attendance to some of the things that we'd like to increase some attendance to. So I'm happy to volunteer or be on an ad hoc committee,
Whatever.
because I think this is what this board should do. We should have like committees that are specific to different things, not just the building. If I need to start that, great, I'm happy to provide some assistance, but I know that conversations that I've had with my age demographic, and I'm 60, but on the lower end, email is it.
So
Technology,
let's-
they're
For some, yeah.
technology savvy, they want to have those reminders. I mean, I know we will send them or we'll reach out if there's a class that's canceled, but hey, next week we have an upcoming class. I know that puts a burden potentially on staffing, but
What I'd like to do is put it on the agenda for next time, so we don't get beyond the regulations of open meeting law in discussing it today.
Okay.
So I think it's a good idea, and that's why we have the new business section, so we can
Bring it
talk
up.
a little bit, but not, if we get into deciding how to do things, it has to be on the
yeah,
agenda.
no. And that's why I said I volunteer to be on the committee
Well, I know the
to discuss.
separate thing and then they send it out, but they have a good email system. They still get email, you know.
Did you see the article in the newspaper about the Council on Aging sending out a questionnaire? What can and may we do for you? Did you see that?
No, but I know that we've had questionnaires.
Yeah.
We've
And just,
we've done
you reach out to every household and say, what might we do for you? I mean, that's every household. Now, obviously, the report's probably got a larger budget for doing
Yeah.
just such, but, I mean, if there's any way we can get from the Friends of a budget for a single mailer to send out, and then you get a chance to put one note after another, including your point taken,
Yeah.
and get a semblance of exposure, quality exposure. And a lot of people probably are unaware that the Council on Aging exists because they're not in the limelight. They're not.
Didn't we do that in the tax bill? Didn't we send that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did, last
Yeah.
January.
We did.
Went out in the
We
text
did.
bill. We did, we got.
And I don't know if
I remember the
they're on
I
results.
don't think it was,
Awesome.
I don't think it was a questionnaire.
I can't, I'm not gonna speak to that, I'm not positive.
No.
I-
We
I-
did put
email,
something in
I
the
don't
text.
We did.
Yeah.
But
I just got one in my
this would be a specific composition, looking for folks to, be aware we're here, and what may we do for you.
So, I don't want to discuss communication any further.
Okay, what
Uh,
Got it. Add it to this.
Yeah.
Do we have any other new business to discuss? then we need to establish the next meeting date. And I have a lot of conflicts on Mondays, so Chris, if you are able to, I would like to ask you to choose a Monday that you can do so you can chair the meeting.
No problem. So February, I can either do the 10th, I'm away on the 17th, or the 24th. So we can do the 24th.
Are those Mondays?
Those are the Mondays. We have the 3rd, the 10th, the 17th, and the 24th.
And the 17th doesn't work for me, so I can do
Yes.
any other Monday, but
Me too.
I'm away the 24th.
okay.
On the 3rd or the 10th.
Which one?
The
On the
10th.
10th?
So I'd entertain a motion to set the next meeting for February 10th at 9 a.m.
Okay.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. And now I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.
Thank you.